welcome back to City Line. Hopefully you have enjoyed the show as much as I have, and we are going to end on a really high note with a downtown block party. There are some young folks in the house who already have me pumped up. I'm excited. The old schoolers can come down and party with the new schoolers at the downtown block party. So welcome. Justin Mayfield, you're the director of Local Life. Thank you for being here on City Line, along with Athena Hitson, who's the volunteer coordinator, and Ezekiel Nutter, who is the Root Beer Garden coordinator, which we're going to find out what that's about. Thank you all for being here. Let's talk about the block party. When and where do the old schoolers need to show up to meet the new schoolers?
When and where?
Yeah, when, where?
It's August 17th from 4 to 10 p.m. It's always the third Saturday of August. It's in Opera Alley.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and it's totally free, and it's just a bunch of activities and fun things for all ages. So old schoolers, new schoolers, young schoolers.
Everything in
people
between.
Who are actually in school. Yeah, everything.
And so I know when you say party, there's going to be music. I know there'll be food. Tell us a little bit about the music that's going to be happening. Who's responsible for some of that?
Yeah, okay, so what the music element of the block party is pretty unique because we try not to make it a spectacle. In fact, the block party itself is, a lot of people show up thinking it's going to be some sort of, a street fair, those are really fun, but there's a lot of those. So this is something where people walk through and then they find that there's not a lot to buy or look at. It's actually more interactive and there's stuff to do and crafts and art and games and that kind of thing. So the music follows in line. The music is, there's a stage with just incredibly talented world-class musicians.
And we're seeing some of that interactive art going on right now? You
yeah,
can skateboard through there, huh?
Everyone's doing everything. So there's musicians. That was a band last year and I think that really, it exemplifies the music, the art party. All those people didn't know each other when they showed up on stage, and it's incredible music. I think the people at home can hear the music actually in the background. That's stuff that they just came up with on the spot because the musicians are so good.
Love it.
People dance to it, move to it. The whole thing is everyone's kind of being inspired by everything else everybody else is doing.
So if you're a face painter and you want to come down and paint faces that day, what do you need to do? If you actually want to be one of the people that's kind of running a little experimental thing, what should you do? How do you get in touch with the block party organizers?
Well, go ahead and give us a call. I think the phone number will flash on the screen, but it's 253-242-3095. Our website's dtownneighbors.com. It's facebook.com/downtown neighbors. So there's lots of ways to get in touch with us, or just show up on the day of. If you call us ahead of time, we'll do our best to fit you in. There's no booth fees or anything like that. We just want people to show up and do fun things.
It's super fun.
Say more.
It is fun.
Why are you involved with it as a volunteer coordinator?
Well,
Athena?
Many things.
And many things. I have helped out throughout the years with Justin because I believe in his vision. And there's multiple people involved other than Justin, but I wanted to be involved because it's bringing our community together in a really exciting, fun way. And in a different way, he thinks the festival out of the box. It's not just going and looking and buying Chotsky stuff, It's interacting with the people that you don't even know. And there's food, which is really great. And by the end of the evening, the energy is so amazing. People are dancing and jumping, and it's dusk, and there's kids, and there's grandpas, and there's moms and dads, and hula hooping and jumping rope, and it's really fun.
Well, I'm excited about the fact that a group of young people, new schoolers, I call you, are
Schoolers.
Yeah, the new schoolers are doing this, and it's creating, what I observed is that you're creating a sense of community there. As you said, those people didn't know each other when they got there. And one thing you're going to have is this root beer garden. So I understand, Ezekiel, this was your idea to have a root beer garden. Tell us a little bit about it.
We came up with that a few years ago, setting up from a previous festival. And at first, we were kind of just joking around about it, like good laughs and everything. And then a couple years later, it kind of became serious. So we're like, oh, we're actually going to do this. So the centerpiece of the Root Beer Garden is going to be this 4-square Thunderdome, which is also connected to the beer garden and the Root Beer Garden.
So it's in the
center.
center.
So from either side, you'll be able to watch people playing Foursquare.
Oh, cool.
and heckle and
Foursquare.
have fun. Yeah.
Oh, you're actually going to draw the Foursquare on the ground there somewhere? Where's the Foursquare?
We actually
I
build
believe so.
temporary walls, right?
Oh,
Yeah, and then I believe we also draw the inside, or at least put tape on the bottom.
and so now I heard, or you said before we started that you have to be accompanied by an adult or a minor.
A minor,
in order to
yes.
get into the root beer garden.
Anyone above the age of 18 must be accompanied by a minor.
I am almost always
the root beer garden.
I'm almost always accompanied by minors or people who behave like minors. One way or another, I'm
You should be
good, right?
Yeah.
So you got murals, you got interactive art. Tell us a little bit about the murals. Anybody?
Well, yeah. So last year, every year we've done a mural. The first year started with Athena. She got Dan Martin involved, who did this really cool tape mural. He's the mysterious guy that
Wow.
does these tape things around town, and so he did this really rad.
He wears a green
mural.
bodysuit and he tapes the ground. Yeah.
Okay.
So he did that 2 years ago, and Fab Five got involved. It was really interactive. It was just made up on the spot, and it turned into this really cool mural. Then last year, a friend of mine, Nalia Schwanger, did a mural on one of the buildings down there in the alley. And then Ruby and George, who own a bunch of buildings in the alley, painted all their buildings with these really wild, beautiful colors based on the mural colors. So now the next building over is owned by the dentist there that's kind of on St. Helens. And he's given us permission to do this really wild, blue, incredible mural based on the Tacoma Opera and
Love it.
and some classic opera scenes. So yeah, it's
can
going to be
come down
awesome.
and paint.
You get to be
Anybody
part
can
of
come
it.
and
Yeah.
That's
paint
it. And what about? Do you need to bring your own supplies, or
No,
you're going
we have
It's all
you're going
there.
to bring everything and have that available?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you need some volunteers to help you with this, right? That's why
Yes,
you
we
have
always
this.
need volunteers.
Tell us a little bit about what they would be doing and how do they become a volunteer?
Well, first of all, it's really fun. And I always encourage everybody to bring their friends to do it together. And we need 3-hour blocks of time. And you get a free t-shirt. And the logo's pretty amazing.
Pretty.
Yeah.
All right.
And then you can get a free beer if you're over 21.
Or a root beer if you're not.
Yeah, that's right.
So 20,
Ezekiel.
yeah, so so anybody can get a beverage if they volunteer, but it's 3 hours blocks of time is all we need, and it goes all day. We're starting at 9 a.m. that day
Yeah, for working. Yeah.
for working.
For
yeah,
setup and everything.
For setup, yeah. So we set up
so
during
you really
the
do
day.
need to be there.
Throughout
Don't
the
show
time.
up at 4:00
Yeah.
expecting to volunteer.
Well, there
because
are
I'll-
times. There are times.
Absolutely. We have
time.
times during, there's a few shifts during where you can
Yeah,
help
it's throughout the
facilitate.
entire day, 3-hour
Yeah,
blocks.
yeah.
So that you can get in touch with us through Facebook or our email.
Okay, so give folks that information. Where do they? Okay, just. What is the name that they look for?
D-Town.
I see D-Town T-Town. Is that
Yeah,
right?
dtownneighbors.com, and that's a super confusing URL. So you can
was
just call us
gonna
if you want
say.
to. It's on the screen there, 253-242,
There we go.
3195. It's the worst URL in history, and I don't know why we haven't changed it. I've never seen a worse URL. And you just keep going with it.
And I'm so dyslexic that I don't ever say it right.
I don't say it
So
right.
you say T-Town, D-Town, right? One way or the just go to Google and search. That's
I
what I
built
would
the
say.
website,
Search
I
for
guess.
downtown
so
block
bad.
party.
Yeah.
So why are young new schoolers like you engaged in this effort? Why do you feel like you had to just step into this space and create the root beer garden and the murals and interactive art? What drew you to this effort?
I like just the way everyone acts and just basically how should I put this? Sometimes it's kind of indescribable. It's just this great feeling you get when you're meeting new people, sometimes complete strangers, and then you're just having such a great time with them. And it really gives young people an opportunity to meet older or elderly.
The first
people.
time that I hung out with Ezekiel at the party, he came to me, he's like, this is really fun. These are adults and we're playing Foursquare. Like, wow, this is exciting. Yeah.
Well, I just finished a program at Seattle U, and every time our classes got together, we had 30 minutes of play. And if
really
you want to see
important.
something funny, look at a bunch of 50-year-olds
Everybody needs playtime.
playing kickball
Yeah.
on Foursquare. We were competitive too. Now, you know, we might not have been physically able to do it for more than 30 minutes, but we were definitely engaged. Play is so good for the
Yeah.
spirit,
I
the
think
soul, the mind.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things for me, a part of being part of this, is it's bridging the gap between the old school and the new school, as you say it, because teenagers and minors' opinions about what we do is really important. And I don't think we engage as much as we should be as a whole through all the generations. So this is a really, really great example of that.
And what is Local Life? You're the director
Yeah.
of Local Life. Tell us a little bit about that in these last couple minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Local Life is a small nonprofit started here in Tacoma, and its purpose is to help encourage community life on a neighborhood level. So, as well as encourage places where you can live, work, and play in walking distance. So the block party was actually started the first year in 2010. As a way to connect people who live downtown, and we didn't really advertise it except for put out door hanger invitations to all the doors downtown, the people who live downtown.
Interesting.
Yeah, so the 2 years ago, Ezekiel's mom got involved in Athena and different people, and we decided to say, hey, if we're gonna do this, let's keep inviting people downtown to hang out together. Which is great because you get people from the Metropolitan and from the Winthrop, and they don't know that they're from different buildings and make drastically different
Isn't
incomes.
it interesting
and
how
they're just
if
having
they
fun
don't
together.
know, then it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Right.
They don't make
Yeah.
assumptions about one another
Yeah.
necessarily.
Yeah, and then 2 years ago, we just opened it up for the whole city to really celebrate the neighborhood as well as just the sense of collaborating creatively with your neighbors, no matter where you're from. What would this feel like to do in my own neighborhood? And so
Well,
that's what Local Life's
I'm
about.
really glad to see the new schoolers stepping into this space, creating a sense of community, and it's got a lot of flavor, it's got a lot of energy. Thank you very much for doing it. Saturday, August 17th from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. in Opera Alley, and make sure you get by the Root Beer Garden, right, Ezekiel? We've got to close the show, but thank you very much for watching City Line today. I am Carol Mitchell, and I will see you next time.